There are concerns that native fish species could be killed with secondary poisoning if a new poison is approved for use to deal with the New South Wales mouse plague. The regulator is considering 2 emergency permit applications to use the chemical Bromadiolone, but farmers, fishers and river communities fear unintended consequences. Xavier Martin is the Vice President of the New South Wales Farmers Association and grain grower, and he joins us now from Malali in New South Wales, that's west of Tamworth. Xavier Martin, welcome. What's the mouse issue been like for you over recent months?
Yeah, good morning, Joe. Recent months on our farms have ebbed and flowed a bit as they've run out of seed or feed. In various places they've started to cannibalise each other, but in other parts where they've still had a reasonable reserve, they're absolutely exploding and training for Tokyo by the look of it, Joe, the way they're rushing around.
And yeah, I've heard that expression before of cannibalising. Have you seen evidence of them attacking each other, eating each other?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're all over the ground here as we speak, actually. They're dead carcasses, half eaten. So, no, they're here. Around their mouse holes, this paddock was sowing last night, around their mouse holes, they're stacking up seeds and pods for the winter time. They're not going anywhere. They're getting ready, and that's what the experts have said. They'll just go a little deeper in their warrens so they can explode in the spring. And that's why it's so critical we get appropriate support and response to avoid what will be an enormous hit on the New South Wales economy.
Yeah, okay. And before we get to that, what's been the extent of the damage for you on your property?
Look, we did a pretty good job of baiting mainly by air through canola last year. Into mung beans through summer, it was a bit patchy. You could certainly see the damage. We certainly lost a 6-figure sum probably to mice damage, and there's those around that lost much more in sorghum, and we've got reports of them getting into the cotton as well.
Yeah, and so when you say you lost a 6-figure sum, probably and mainly the mung beans, was that when you'd sown the seed in the paddock and they were basically eating the seed or the plants? What was happening?
They got a real taste for it once the plants started to flower and pot up. They see it, they get a great protein shot out of the seeds, and they just got stuck in, and then they kept at it right through to the point where the harvester was going through at night. We actually stopped harvesting because mice were actually up on the plant, jumping off in front of the machine, and the last thing we want is pieces of mice in what is a very important for mung bean sprouts. They go straight into the food chain. Yeah.
And so how successful have you been at trying to minimise the damage on your property?
Look, moderately so, but it's like trying to treat COVID on a cruise ship. You might have clean rooms and dirty rooms. It's the same with paddocks, and that's why we need government support. We need a program. We need a big effort from everybody across the landscape to control this plague. I mean, we've been talking to New South Wales farmers have been talking to Macquarie Street for many months about this plague. They just thought it was a breeding event or a problem or something, but they've let the problem turn into a plague. And farmers are racing to get 6 million hectares in across the state as we speak. The canola window is pretty well closed, end of May's that. So we've missed that one. We've got barley window open now and wheat, but, farmers are telling us they're stopping planting particular paddocks, multiple paddocks. In some cases, they're complete farms. They're really at their wits' end. The reports we're getting of people being bitten in their beds, even patients in hospital being bitten, the number of presentations we're seeing of mammalian disease transfers to people, we've got a serious problem on our hands that's turned into a plague because of government inaction.
Okay, so the government is looking into the possibility of this Bromadiolone. What do you think of that plan or possibility?
Oh, look, this second-generation anticoagulant's been around for a while in various forms, and certainly Bromadiolone, we have members who've had experience with it when it was under permit up till 2017, I think. And look, they've said to us, or a few of them, some of them said to us they had misgivings about secondary toxicity around the carcasses of the mice and rats for both domestic animals and native animals. I mean, whether it's dogs, pigs, poultry, they all scavenge. And same with natives. I had a wedge-tail eagle land next to me yesterday chasing mice while I was sowing, but, obviously barn owls, a whole lot of other raptors and hawks and what have you. So, there's serious misgivings. But look, we trust the science. We make a living out of healthy plants and healthy animals. And, we've got the appropriate statutory authority considering a permit. If they come up with some workable conditions, potentially it's an additional tool in our toolbox. However, there's really good reasons why it isn't widespread. It doesn't have widespread use across agricultural fields around the globe. I think people are starting to work that out.
Yeah, so what would you like to see the government do now?
Oh, look, we've been calling for them to, recognise it as a natural disaster, and they have about 3 or 4 weeks ago. They put $50 million on the table, which sounds great, but the only thing they've got great out of that is that householders and shop owners and farmers can go to Service New South Wales and get a rebate up to a certain amount. But farmers we're saying they need a 50% rebate capped at $25,000. Otherwise, they're just saying, oh, look, I can't manage this risk. And we're already seeing $1 billion wiped off the farm gate value of crops for this coming season. And then that has a multiplier effect through the New South Wales economy.
And so if you were given a rebate, you'd be able to handle things on your own. You don't need some kind of state coordinated system where there are people from the outside come in and start dropping baits on properties around the state. Farmers can handle it themselves if they've got enough funding?
That's a very good question, Joe. What we need is a coordinated community effort across the landscape. Even now, New South Wales farmers are standing ready because we're starting to hear that the suppliers of the zinc phosphide, the product that we use, broadacre, there's 70,000 kilos of it a day, maybe 80,000 kilos a day going on as the sowing's trying to proceed. But we're hearing that they're running out of the epoxy-coated special drums that are required for shipping the zinc phosphide. So we're standing ready to support a return scheme to get those drums circulating back through the zinc phosphide bait suppliers. So that's an emerging issue at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, Xavier, we'll have to leave it there, but good luck with trying to get on top of this in the coming months. And yeah, interesting to hear your concerns about how, the extent of worry about how this is going to affect crops over the coming months as well as you try to start the plantings.
Well, Joe, we need more than good luck. We need the Berejiklian government to support farmers. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Xavier Martin there at Malali, west of Tamworth.